Hola a todos, hi everyone, welcome back to my channel, Mera Fit Mera Mind con Carla, and if you are new here, welcome to the channel. In this specific video, I am continuing on talking about this pregnancy journey, and as part of this little series or section of my channel, Carlita's Diaries. If you're waiting for other content to come from me, thank you so much for your patience. I am having some video lineups of what I am going to be creating, and let me know in the comments what kind of things you want to see here from me and learn from me as well. So if you don't know me, my name is Carla Rodriguez. I'm an NLP trainer and coach, the founder of Mera Fit Mera Mind, Mera Fit Mera Mind Academy, and also the host of Mera Fit Mera Mind podcast, as well as I have been a doula for a while, and I've been wanting to bring in more of this content for, moms to be, anyone planning to be a mama, especially coming from having the training now that I've gained over the years with neuro-linguistic programming. So with that being said, make sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the little bell button so you can get alerts of when I create and post new videos. So in this video, I'm going to be talking about the next few weeks of my pregnancy, which I believe in this case, and if I'm looking down, it's because I'm looking at my notes. So in this next phase is going into the second trimester, completing those 12 super important weeks that most of us don't really create or make an announcement. We want to wait to create anything because honestly, those first 12 end of 13 weeks are a little bit challenging. And they were for me in many ways, just because my body wasn't doing exactly what I wanted it to do or what I thought it should do, and I was doing other things. So I'm going to be just talking here going from end of 12 weeks into week 16. So I'm breaking this down as much as I can so you don't have the long videos, but you also have enough chunks so you have the information that you need, and hopefully someone talks about some of the things that you're probably wondering about. And if you are pregnant, congratulations. If you are trying, I am wishing you the best, and if that hasn't happened yet, I'm still sending you good positive love and all the best wishes to you. And also, if you're choosing to do family different than adopting or co-parenting, I've been a stepmama to a 10-year-old for a while, and it's been an interesting process, a lot of learning in that case. So anything that you want to know about step parenting as well, based on my experience though, because I'm not an expert, I'm just learning as I go, just let me know. And once again, let me know anything that you want to know. Comment below how the journey has been for you. And the one other thing that I do want to share, just a quick mini, you could say plug in here, is that if you do want to learn more about emotional intelligence for yourself, for your family, if you want to actually practice more about this, then send me a message, because I have some trainings coming up to actually learn how to communicate with yourself, with others, and also to gain more emotional intelligence for yourself. So that's just a mini plug-in. So now let's get right into the video. Let's start with week 13, end of 12 weeks. So excited. My sister told me, okay, your cramps will go away by the end of your first trimester. Well, week 13 comes around and there was a lot happening, and my cramps were still kind of happening. They weren't fully gone, and I was just like, I thought this was supposed to be like an on and off switch, right? Definitely wasn't, but it was definitely phasing out, I want to say, of how the cramps were happening, specifically on my left side. During this week, I noticed that there was more energy, but at the same time, there was more nausea. For some reason, that was happening. So there was more nausea happening that I didn't experience in the beginning, and it was maybe happening a little more here during this week. This week was really exciting, actually, because this was the first week in which we had our first centering appointment with the birthing center. And what centering is their group prenatal classes and appointments, and this first one was online. It was to kind of get to know some of the parents that were going to come in. But what's cool about this is that essentially you build a community of parents who are going to have your baby around the same month. And I say around the same month because you never know what these babies decide. Interestingly enough, on that same day, I had my prenatal appointment in person, which was really cool. So I got to do baby conversations and pregnancy talk pretty much all day. And on that day, sadly, my husband wasn't able to make it to the appointment. It was a 30-minute appointment. And, you know, sometimes things like that can happen. But other than that, I've been so grateful to him for being so supportive in my choice of how and where I want to give birth. He's very open to this. And, you know, ever since then, he's made it to every appointment. If I've asked him to do some kind of online class or something, he's there. And I checked in, you know, the other day. I know this isn't part of that week 13. And I said, hey, like, I hope this is okay that I'm asking you to attend these. And he's like, look, it's been a long time since I had a baby. I honestly don't remember this. So honestly, it's a refresher and it's good information to know. So that was on that week. Nothing really crazy happened other than it was exciting to have more energy, but at the same time, more nausea was happening. So what I actually started doing, and talk to your healthcare provider, to your OBGYN, to your midwife, whoever you're working with. And I started taking vitamin B6 because they say that this can help with nausea as well. And it did a little bit. It did help me a little bit. And during this time, I also started to phase out of the original prenatal vitamins that I was on, and I switched to the 1-a-day prenatals. And these were really cool because I didn't feel the gummy. For some reason, the gummy was making me feel a little icky and sick. And so this one was just like one and done for the day. Then the next week happened. And for some reason, this week was rough because constipation started to happen again. And this time it was hard. It was like, I think I went 2 or 3 days without being able to go and use a restroom. And it was scary because when I finally was able to go, it seemed like it started to cause like some spotting, some bleeding. And in my mind, my doula mind, I said, no, this should be okay. As long as I'm not filling up a pad or anything like that, we're good. So I just took a note of that. But in my mind, it was because I wasn't able to go for a few days, and maybe I was forcing myself, and you know, that was that. Then the following week, week 15, was definitely a lot more up, down, on, off symptoms. So during this week, after I wasn't able to go to the restroom for those few days, I started experiencing other things. Meanwhile, all of this was happening. My friend and I, Ashton, have been planning many events for our things, you know, being aware that I am pregnant. And this is kind of this time of creation, not only in my body, but also for the things that we want to create, right? For YouTube, for the podcast, for MetaFit, MetaMind, for her organization, Women Who Work. And so we have started to do little mini get-togethers to plan things out for the rest of this year before baby's here, because babies, they have their own time, if you will. Also, I've been having to drink a lot of water because it's been one of the things that it's been hard for me to intake. And so I have to constantly have one of these within my reach, or else I will honestly, I will completely forget to drink water or something. So definitely stay hydrated, yo. During these weeks, I've been going to my baby classes. They're through an organization here in Austin, Texas called True Care. And it's been really, really great because what I didn't know is that I'll be able to go to these classes and they'll be kind of a resource until I think baby's 2 years old. So I'm really excited about that. It was something that was hard in the beginning to find resources because when you make a specific amount of income, you know, some resources go away and others kind of stay, but it's kind of, you have to test things out and ask questions and just many things. So this is one that I'm really grateful to have still been able to use and have as a resource, because I can go ask questions about baby, pregnancy. Even me as a doula, I'm going in there as a complete newbie student, because it's just, you know, why not get resources? Use resources if you have access to them. And I want to make sure that you know that you can ask for help. You can ask questions. There, like during this journey, there's so many new things happening that it's just better to, even if you think you have an answer, ask anyway, and then you'll for sure have your answer. Oh, also another thing during this, before I get to my 15-week thing, is that I actually had a follow-up to the dentist, because sadly I had a crown put in my tooth, and that was hard. Like, I couldn't eat on one side, and there was a moment where it fell out, the temporary one, until I got my actual real one, and that was definitely not comfortable, but I got that done. And so take care of your dentistry as well. Your dental health is so important. I think I said it in the previous video. Take care of your teeth. These things, they are key. So next week, so 15 week, like I said, continuing to do my baby classes. But this week, like I said, there was up, down, on, off symptoms. After not being able to go to the bathroom, I know I'm gonna say TMI here, but it's pregnancy, yo. You're gonna see and hear a lot of stuff, and it's just better to know. Go in there with your mind open, with your heart open, just ready to learn. During this week, I had diarrhea again, and I thought this was over. Then after that was done, I think the next day or within 2 days, constipation again. And I'm like, what the heck? Like, really? Come on, baby. Help me out here, right? And so that was one thing that was just super annoying to still be, I would say, constantly battling it with, but just know that it can be normal. Now, if it's too much, definitely talk to your midwives or your OBGYN, whoever your provider is. Let them know, because when things like this are happening, like if you're throwing up and if too much, then you're losing liquid. So make sure, again, to stay hydrated. So then I switched back and forth between diarrhea, constipation, honestly. Fatigue really hit me big time. But the exciting part here was that cravings started to go up. And so the food aversions started to wind down, and I was starting to eat more, which was really, really, really exciting. You know, it was one of those things where I was like, finally, I'm able to eat some food, no longer being in survival mode of whatever I could get my hands on that wouldn't make me nauseous or puke or just like repulsed to it, right? Now, this week was tough though, because for 2 or 3 days I did spot. I spotted from pink to red to kind of brown to pink to red. It was just one of those days, and it was 2 to 3 days straight. And that definitely was challenging for me, because I thought that this was supposed to be done in the first trimester. I'm over here already in the second at week 15, and I'm spotting for some reason. And so during these days, I did call my midwife, the birth center, and they called me within, I want to say like 30 minutes, 40 minutes. And the on-call midwife talked to me. She asked me a lot of questions. And I think, if I remember correctly, she said that I probably was having or experiencing internal hemorrhoids. I didn't know that they could happen internally. And apparently I was experiencing that not everybody experiences the external ones, which are the painful ones, and like these other symptoms. But yeah, so she told me to drink a lot more water. She had me drinking like almost 100 ounces at the time of water. Now I have to do more than 100 ounces actually per day, which I'm actually a little low today. And after that, it went, the spotting went away. So I was just grateful for that, because I couldn't tell if it was from the front or from the back at first. So she had me test that out. And yeah, so she checked in with me a couple days later, and it was clear. But when you think something is over, sometimes it can still continue on. The body's still adjusting. It's still early on. And so just don't go straight to like, oh my God, this is the worst thing. Just call your provider and tell them what is happening. Remember to breathe and stay cool, calm, and collected. And if you do have the intuition that something is definitely very wrong, go straight to the hospital if you need to. I never had that intuition to need to go to do that, and so I was grateful that I still was able to reach to them and I had the quick response. Now finally we get to week 16, and what's cool about this week, from what the apps told me, was that my baby was the size of an avocado. Like, that is crazy. When I finished the week 12, the baby was the size of a lime, and now week 16 we're at an avocado size. That is insane. That week was just, I don't know, it was another week to celebrate, another week of just continuing to create and just many changes happening. I used to be at a holistic health company, working, coaching, trauma, and things like that. And I ended up leaving that week, which was a little hard and a little rough for me because, just a lot of expectations go into that. And so to go from that to just changing, there's a grace period of what we do have to process. But it also was an empowering, you could say, moment for me of choosing to step away from something, because I think I was holding on to that for dear life, thinking that I couldn't go and continue this journey on my own. And so that was a little hard, just mentally, emotionally, not really physically. Physically, things were winding down. I was sleeping a little more. I actually was deep sleeping a little more, actually, which was really nice. I have my pregnancy pillow. And also, after I spoke to the midwife, she told me to try taking magnesium. So this one that I take is Nature Sunshine Magnesium. And this thing says what does it say? 1 tablet daily. So what they recommended me, and again, you ask your provider, is to do it at night before I go to bed, because not only will it help me sleep better, but also with the restroom or the bathroom. So those two things were what I was taking at the time, were the magnesium, and I still take it here from, like, if I feel like something like that's happening, the magnesium, the B6, and the prenatals, the 1-a-day prenatals. Now I've switched my prenatal. The one that I now take, I don't have it with me at the moment actually, but I'll share it in the next video. It's through Thorn, and that one was recommended to me by my chiropractor, who's amazing, Dr. Morgan, here in Austin. I will share her link below and the video links as well. And so if you're in city of Austin, surrounding area, and you want to find a chiropractor to help with your body changes, to help with any of the round ligament pain, any adjustments that need to happen, like, she's amazing. She's an expert at the Webster method, and yes, so I think that's what was going on during those weeks. Nothing too crazy, nothing too different from the previous weeks, but finally this week there was no spotting. When was it that I announced I know that I made the announcement once my first trimester was done, which was really exciting, you could say. And that was that was at the end of February. So yeah, that was around week 15 that I made the announcement. My husband, my stepson, we all took pictures. I'll show the picture here somewhere, or here, I don't know, whatever side I'm on. And we all like to video game it up, and we shared a little picture with the announcement, and it was just really exciting to be able to do it with both of them. So that's what's been happening, yo. It's been really exciting. I'm still in the second trimester, I'll give you that, and I'll be sharing the next few weeks 17, 18, 19, 20, I guess weeks end of 16, 17 into weeks 20. I'll be sharing that in the next video, but like I said, nothing too crazy, nothing too different happened in these weeks. One thing that I will say, and maybe there's another TMI, is that during those times that I was spotting, I was very nervous, to even be intimate with my husband, to have sex, because I was like, what if that's hurting me? What if that's causing it? And because the midwives did ask, did this happen? did you have sex? And it could irritate that area, the vagina. And so I was just kind of scared. But that's improved, and let me know what that process is like mentally, emotionally. So yeah, so with that being said, thank you so much for watching, and make sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and until next time.